Hello, kia ora everybody, and welcome to this video about the astrology of the week beginning Saturday the 14th of June. This is astrology for New Zealand and Australia. I make calendars for New Zealand and Australia, but I'm actually currently in England, touring England, supposed to be in Europe by now, but due to van breakdowns we are having a great tour of some of the garages and workshops of England, but exploring in between and finding it very interesting and friendly and a lot of greenery and a lot of population. Anyway, this week what you're likely to feel is that there's some kind of culmination, or like things come to a head in a way with some energy that's been building for a while. That's an energy of something about some big plans or dreams are blocked, but there's some working through to do. There also could be some crazy zany out of the box changes of plans or disruptions. It could be a little bit shocking. But there's this culmination point, and it is the center point of Jupiter square to Saturn, and once we get through it, things will be moving more easily, and also Jupiter square to Neptune. So it's about dreams and visions coming to reality. How do we make them real in the real world? And then we also come for the southern hemisphere to the end of the solar year with winter solstice, and I'm in the northern hemisphere, so it is at the peak time of the year where the year is at its fullest, hence wearing a singlet though it hasn't been that hot where I've been. Okay, so this week we start with, on Sunday, hang on, let me look at this because I've got it all written out here, just on a book. Here's my diary and I've got the notes. All right, on Saturday the 14th of June we've got Mars square Uranus, and this is where there might be just something out of the box, unexpected, difficult news, or a difficult challenge, some conflict even. And Uranus could make it like it's something to do with technology, and there's conflict around technology or a new idea, like some kind of new innovative revolutionary idea. That's the Uranus part. The Mars part is about energy and drive, and also it can be about conflict or fighting. Okay, and the square aspect makes it difficult. So on that Saturday, and let me see, so it's Saturday evening in Aotearoa and Australia, and it's Saturday morning in England or the Northern Hemisphere. So that could be building up through Friday, and it happens about once a year that we've got Mars square Uranus, and this is an opening square, so it's the beginning kind of things opening up, things that we started last year before Mars went retrograde, and then we've had the retrograde to review them. They started with a conjunction, and the square is the point where we meet some challenges along the road of whatever we're doing there. So loads of energy with this one. Mars is energetic, Uranus is energetic, and Uranus is full of new ideas, and Mars is full of vim and vigor and initiative and entrepreneurial spirit. So put those together, it's fantastic, but with the square it could be challenging, but it will be over after that Saturday. So, you know, maybe just mopping up a bit of a mess. Try and hold your tongue if you don't need to say something. If you need to speak up, do. And if you need to be forthright, do so. But if you don't need to, maybe hold your tongue, because you don't want to have to be mopping up stuff that wasn't for any good reason. Okay, after that we have got on Monday the 16th of June. Now let me look at the time. In the morning, like 2 a.m. in the morning for New Zealand, just about midnight, midnight for Australian Eastern Standard Time, or it's late in the evening on the Sunday night for the other parts of Australia, and it's in the afternoon on the Sunday for the UK. Here we have Jupiter square Saturn. And this has happened 3 times. This is the last time. And some of you may have seen the video I did with my teacher, Ksenia, who lives in Australia, and she is wonderful, in-depth astrologer, and I do lessons with her and have learned so much from her, and very generous spirits. And anyway, we did a video together, and that came out, I think, on summer solstice in December, the December solstice, and all about that Jupiter Saturn square. And this is the 3rd and last time it's happened, and it's all about Jupiter and expansion and the yes and the how can I grow, justice and generosity and joy and optimism, even enthusiasm, higher mindedness. And then Saturn is about the stoicism, the hard work, the discipline. Jupiter is yes, Saturn is no. Jupiter is expansion, Saturn is blockage or boundary. Okay, and they've come into the square 3 times as of that final time, Sunday, Monday. And it might be a culmination point with something that we wanted to start, and I think it was end of 22 or 21. Oh no, the end of 2020, we had the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at the 1st degree of Aquarius, and it was after all that COVID year. It was like a new start, a new beginning. The Saturn and Jupiter cycles are really important in social events and that. But what you might notice is that perhaps something that began after that conjunction, after building up through 21 and 22 and 23, and then that the square aspect is where we come to the time where it's harder to do it. It's not easy, it's not straightforward, there are obstacles to overcome, and some of those obstacles might have been showing up in the last few weeks as we've been building towards the square for the 3rd and final time. And it might come to a culmination point on Monday, or as we're nearly there anyway, and they're slow moving. Those obstacles might be laid out before you are ready, and you might be already working your way through them. Yeah, and it is about patience and hard work and plodding. Those are the lessons of Saturn, showing up and adulting. Okay, so we want to have those expansive dreams. We want to have higher justice, higher ideals. And we can also bring in there that later on in the week we've got Jupiter square to Neptune. In some ways that's an even bigger aspect. Saturn is about what's happening here on Earth, but Neptune is about what's happening away from the Earth. It's like a lot about the energetic realm, the unseen, and Neptune is really about dreams and idealism, and Jupiter square to Neptune might make us just get over the top with our idealism. It's where maybe our dreams are trying to get too big. Anyway, but Saturn in the mix, and Saturn getting very, very close to Neptune at the very beginning of Aries. There's so much in there about making our dreams a reality, and how do we do that? How do we bring what's our head and heart and imagination into the ground and initiating something new? Okay, and the work needed to do that, and the facing up to reality. I've got so many dreams and visions myself. I'm really dreamy. And so how do I make my stuff a reality? And we can't maybe do all of them. Maybe that's part of the reality. Which ones maybe do we need to let go of, and because you can't do everything, and which ones can we do, because we should do some of them. We shouldn't let go of all of them, no way. We should be working towards some of them. Some of them will be possible to make a reality. Okay, so that's the main energy this week, that Jupiter square Saturn, Jupiter square Neptune all about expanding our dreams and how do we make them grounded and real. Yeah, okay, but as well as that, we've got that Mars square Uranus on the Saturday. Was it Saturday? Yeah, it's Saturday. With some disruption, especially technological disruption, or somebody being rebellious, something like that. But it can be energizing and awakening, but shocking. And then later in the week, what else have we got? On the Tuesday, after many months in Leo, because Mars was retrograde in Leo and also Cancer, it spent way more time than usual in Leo. It's now finally moving into Virgo. So we can feel the energy of Mars in the ways that we give service, living cleanly, so eating healthily, healthy routines, doing some yoga in the morning, whatever helps you make your body feel healthy, and giving service and doing things for others and being very practical and clean living. Yeah, so Mars is going to help us feel energized, and that could be a good time with Mars and Virgo over the next couple of months to do some good dietary changes. Mars has got the ability to be decisive and to cut things out. So with Mars and Virgo over the next month or two, that could be a good time to cut out something from your eating that's not so good for you, whether it's maybe alcohol or chocolate or whatever it is. I could probably cut down on a few things. Chocolate, peanut butter. I can go crazy on those. All right, and then on Saturday the 21st of June, but it's actually on the Friday night on the Friday in England. Okay, but we have the solstice, and that is the sun moves to 0 degrees of Cancer. It moves out of Gemini, it moves into Cancer. And I love it for New Zealand and Australia for the winter, because Cancer is all about being at home, being cozy, nurturing yourself with home comforts, and that is nice for the middle of winter. And that's going to feel different for me here, being in the northern hemisphere, and it's summer. And but anyway, that's that Cancer energy, the sun into Cancer. So at the moment we've got in happy, home-loving, caring, nurturing Cancer, the sun, Mercury and Jupiter, bringing loads of luck for whatever is that area of your chart. And we've got Jupiter in there for a whole year, recently moved in. This is another side note that I could have talked about last week, but I didn't manage to get the video uploaded. Jupiter is now in Cancer for a year, and that is just going to be lovely once we get through these squares with Saturn and Neptune. Okay, but anyway, that gives you an idea about the week coming up. There could be some challenges, or there might be challenges that you've already found laid out before you. We're going to be working it over this coming week from the 14th of June. And the aim is to get to the other side, step by step, sensible decision by sensible decision. Okay, happy solstice. Bye everybody. Bye for now. This is Fiona of Sun and Moon Calendar. Please like, comment or subscribe if you like this video. And thank you for your lovely comments when I did my first one last week. Ka kite, bye.